Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Market Unlocked. Today, we got a special episode for you guys. We got the Emblem Vault team. We got Chris joining us from the Emblem Vault team, and then we got Jake, the CEO. What's up, guys? Thank you guys for coming on this week.
What's good? What's good?
All
Fellas,
right.
dude, this is a reunion. Reunions
It
in
is.
store,
Wow.
guys. It's been quite a long time. I think when we all first connected, we are in the depths of the nightlife space of Vegas, and then somehow we all
Yeah.
came around to crypto at a different point in life.
Right.
Yeah,
Kind of fun circle.
I was the last
that was
one
cool.
to get out.
That was cool to see you guys at NFT Miami. What was that, 2 years ago now?
I
Yes,
think
sir.
so.
Almost 3? Yeah,
Getting
that
old,
was
man.
cool. I know. All right, well,
Cool.
Fody, why don't you lead the way since these are your epic guests that you brought on?
All right, guys. So if you guys, like we said before, this is the Emblem team, and what they do, they specialize in NFT protocols, and they have a new product called Agent Hustle, which is a AI agent that does a bunch of DeFi stuff for you. So you can think of like swapping, bridging, liquidity pools, trading for you, market analysis, etc. I've known these guys for a super long time. We all worked in nightlife at some point, and now they've gone to do greater and bigger things. You got Jake, the CEO of Emblem Vault. You got Chris. Chris is the chief marketing officer of Emblem Vault. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, I'll let them get into it first. Let's start off by just kind of like, I know I kind of just said it, but like, what's your role and what you do exactly?
Yeah, man. Let's
start
do
with
it.
Jake.
Yeah, let's dive in. It's funny when you're inside of a startup, especially in crypto, like the position titles are meaningless because everyone is doing so many different things,
do
especially when you're a small team
For sure.
like us who lives in kind of this intersection of interoperability that no one's really building in, and then as well as like this automated trading experience with AI. So, we all kind of do the same thing at the end of the day. Just I guess for myself is more just steering the ship in terms of, the vision, networking and such. But I joined the company in 2022 alongside Adam McBride. We were the third and fourth employees at Emblem Vault. Prior to that, the company was founded in 2016. Actually started on Bitcoin and has been fully operational for 9 years straight, without any VC funding, no angel investors, just purely driven off of the market and the community. So, really cool opportunity. What Emblem Vault is at the end of the day is, I guess you could say it's an NFT bridge, would be like the simplistic way to describe it. And it found its way to over 100 million in TVL, mostly from the Bitcoin NFT sector. And then we started Agent Hustle towards the end of last year to change a few kind of directions of what it was going to be. It started out as an AI wallet and eventually built it into this kind of semi-autonomous, becoming almost fully autonomous trading artificial intelligence that provides insights, and we've humanized it a little bit as well. So he can be quite long-winded if you've ever talked with him, but he could do things that are not just AI as well. Our founder Shannon actually developed, I think, half or something, or like a portion of its own code base with Agent Hustle. So the AI basically developed himself, which is pretty cool. Users are now building apps on top of it. Traders are trading with it. People are hunting the meme coin trenches with it. And as of Sunday, so a few days ago, you could actually launch pump fund tokens with it as well. So we're, experimenting just as much as the users who are dabbling with it are trying to figure out where the edge is. But if one thing's for certain is that this sector of DeFi and AI is definitely going to change the industry forever, whether it's from a user experience or a trading performance, or I guess you could say an unlock of creativity on chain. It's something that you need to at least be experimenting with, or you're going to fall behind pretty fast.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely going to utilize launching pump fund tokens for sure. But yeah,
So,
go
my
ahead.
bad. No, I was gonna say. So, I have so many questions for Agent Hustle, but before I ask them, I was curious what got you guys into Emblem Vault, because I know they started 9 years ago, and then I know you took over as a CEO. Was it 4 years ago now?
No, so I became CEO spring of last year. It was kind of in the works for about a year already at that point, but when you join a company that only has two individual team members and 8 years of history, it takes a little bit of setting up a business structure and all the back end and really trying to formulate all of that. Adam and so I joined the space in 2016 around the same time that Chris did. I was more of just kind of an onlooker trader for a few years and then got into the NFT space really big at the beginning of 2021, into this kind of niche section called historical NFTs or like digital antiquities, things like Mooncats and Curio cards and CryptoPunks and Rare Pepes and such. And I was
Curio cards, man.
dude, throwback. Right?
I was thinking about buying some recently, to be honest.
People love
buy me
history,
one of
man.
those for my birthday.
Dude, it's funny. It's funny that we talk about history. By the way, guys, Chris probably is the most OG one out of all of us. Chris, where'd you buying like crypto punks at 2K or something like that?
No, bro, we watched them from 2K.
Yeah.
It's like the one that
Man.
got away. Me and Jake, dude, we watched them forever. We're waiting for an entry, 2K, 4K, 12K, 20K. We were like, what?
Jeez.
So CryptoPunks really ran away from us. We were literally in the right place at the right time and staring at the chart every day for weeks, and it just kept on slipping away. It was one of the worst months of all time. But they ran like crazy.
Don't worry. I got a story just as bad. We were literally watching the Bored Ape Mint live, and then I was getting bear bums instead of Bored Apes, and I'm watching like my friends just mint apes. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go bear, not ape.
Damn.
That was wrong.
That changes the trajectory of your bloodline, man. You
So
know,
much pain,
those ones are
bro.
tough.
It really does.
So let's just get into the meat and potatoes, man, of Agent
Mhm.
Hustle. That's the thing that you guys are
Right.
primarily focused on, it seems like right now, right?
Yeah, something that's important too, though, is that like Emblem Vault is a cross-chain company. We develop cross-chain infrastructure, and so one thing that makes Hustle super just unique and really like well-tuned for the future is that inherently he uses Emblem Vault as his non-custodial wallet. So it's all
Yeah.
non-custodial, and he's inherently cross-chain. So
Yeah,
none of these
I
like
saw
futuristic
that.
AIs are going to be siloed on just Base or just Solana or just Ethereum. That makes no sense. They're going to need to be active all across different blockchains, and so Agent Hustle is like really well positioned for that. So we started off as like the multi-chain outlook, and then our founder is like just one of the greatest devs that we've ever come across, one of the best in the industry, and he's been developing in AI before he's even been developing in crypto. So he worked on one of the first altcoins ever called Mastercoin, and he was developing AI products basically before that. So for like over 12 years. So it was just like a match made in heaven. He started working on this as like a passion project, and then we ended up just kind of seeing the full vision out and how it fit with the Emblem Vault kind of ethos and trajectory. And then we just kind of kept on building off that, and it led us to where we are today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
fun. And one small piece as well. So Adam and I joined the company in 2022, basically through the historical NFT sector, where we wanted to build our own digital antiquities market. So think of like a Sotheby's or Christie's of NFTs. And
Yeah.
Emblem was one of the teams that we spoke with. And within a few days, they told us, "Hey, join the team." We joined the team, and we realized very quickly that the vision of Emblem is much larger than just like a digital antiquities marketplace. It's literally the plumbing for this cross-chain world. So think of just like what Amazon does in the real world, or what your UPS or what your FedEx services do. This is what Emblem is at the end of the day. It's an NFT that you store digital assets inside, whether it's an NFT or fungible tokens or both from any chain, and you ship it from one blockchain to another. So that's what Emblem Vault is. We took that infrastructure, applied it to creating an AI wallet during the kind of AI meme coin run that was happening towards the end of the year. I'm sure a bunch of the people watching this and traders probably participated in that. We launched the Agent Hustle coin. At the time, it was actually called Tensorium coin, and we were trying to do it anonymously, but it took off really fast. Like everyone in the trenches identified us as launching it. Ran up to $20 million, ran down to 600,000. Now I think it's at 2 million or so right now. And at that time, when AI was taking off in crypto specifically, you had this kind of proliferation of what was called AI alpha bots or KOL bots, right? Things like AI XBT that was giving out alpha, which is still today. You have things like Cerebro and some of these kind of like just Twitter bots
Yeah.
When we were watching that, we knew that was going to fade really fast. So we were kind of looking to see what the actual implementation of AI and crypto would be. And to us, it became very apparent towards the end of last year that it was going to be the intersection of DeFi and AI. And so we started building in that direction. We got Agent Hustle, the AI itself, online December 31st, 2024. And then this current implementation of Agent Hustle.ai went live on March 17th. So about 4 weeks ago from the time of this recording. And what Agent Hustle V2 is this custom AI that we built, which is a fork of Eliza, which is the framework that AI16Z put out. And we kind of created our own version. And then we put all of these different applications on top of it. And, we could go through it if you want me to screen share.
Absolutely, man.
I could just go through with it, and we can have some good old time with kind of what's going on there. So you just got to put it up on the screen. I did hit share.
Cool.
You can see that this is kind of the interface for Agent Hustle himself. This was a ticker that we had bought on stream, so don't pay attention to that. But what you see at face value here is there's kind of 3 different, tabs. Vault is like your balances. So here's the API key. This is essentially like your seed phrase for the wallet, but it's a smart wallet, so it's an API. This is what you feed to the agent to do these on-chain transactions. Buttons to deposit to. This is for the Telegram bot that's coming in. Your tokens, LP positions, transactions that have happened within this wallet. This is our live streaming wallet, so there's a bunch of history on here. You could come here and see swaps. So just like your very typical manual experience of what you'd see with a swap, swapping Solana, right, for USDT, the manual, or you could, let's call it traditional experience of coming in and depositing into, an LP position. We have standard, concentrated, and all. And then down here is our Pump Fund mini app. You could come and deploy a token manually. You can, come and look at these different types of newly created, about to graduated, recently graduated. And I'm going through this left side of the screen purposely because I'm going to kind of showcase how we're doing it a little bit different from everyone else. And then on the right hand side, you see tools, right? This is how people could come in and look. You could come check out, the chart for, this is Trump or whatever token that you want. You can also do things like quick buy. So if you just preset to have a quick buy, so to do that quite fast. And then we also have built these things in, these kind of like crossover between, think of the left side as kind of traditional crypto, and then the right side is this like new age AI crypto. We've created these kind of pre-generated buttons for users to make it easy, where you could come in on the left-hand side, click a button, and it'll kind of just give you all of the details from the AI side. The cool thing here is that because we built this mini app experience, you can still dabble around on the left-hand side while the agent is going through and prompting. And so here on the left-hand side, we've built a DCA. So you could come in and you can DCA Sol for Fartcoin if you wanted. You could look at the chart, even while Agent Hustle's sitting there and talking. So you could kind of go back and forth between all of this stuff. And then limit orders, which we just launched DCA and limit orders a few days ago, right? So you could come in and, put a 10 or 15% buy order in for Fartcoin at any type or any price. And then copy trading is what we're actually building right now, which then leads us into what we call automated trading or conditional trading, which is kind of the major breakthrough in our opinion. But that's just kind of the quick walkthrough. We have like directives for people to walk through, which kind of helps you just understand, how to even use AI with crypto.
I have a question. So for like that, for the LP section, does it give you like a list of like pools, bins, and fees and everything before it goes in? So I'm assuming it does.
So how sophisticated of an LP are you trying to do? Are you trying to get more into like Meteora type LP pools?
Say I wanted to set up like a DLMM, right? And I wanted to like say like in a certain range, certain fee, certain bin step, etc. Is that something that you guys are experimenting with, or is that something that's displaying?
Yeah. So right now we just have Radium integrated. So you have all the Radium standard and concentrated pools. I think DLMM is a Meteora pool,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But so you can do these things manually, or you can actually come in and talk with the agent about different types of LP strategies. Ultimately, the goal once we get automated trading going is you can do this kind of like automated rebalancing idea, which is what I think what most people want to do. Because on the larger scale, the main question becomes from most people, how do I use this thing so I don't actually have to sit here and click buttons and manage my positions? How can I have it? How can I have it find a token, buy a token, and sell it at a 40% rip? So I don't have to be there, or because I'm terrible at managing my emotions. And once I say I'm going to sell it 40% and then it goes 80%, I keep telling myself another 10x from there. Right.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with LP provisions, where it's, hey, I want to use a concentrated LLM because this is how I'm going to siphon out more fees, but I don't want to have to sit here and manage the rebalancing every percentage point when it gets out of range. But I want to have that max kind of, I want to have that max CLM range in there so that I can extract as many amount of fees as possible, whether you want to put it back into the system or not. And it just seems like this is what most people are doing. So we don't have DLMM integrated yet, but we will. Right now, it's more getting these kind of like base tooling out and available before we start expanding into some of these other areas.
For sure.
I had something I wanted to say. In regards of the Emblem stuff, so if I heard correctly, right, I can send basically all my assets to like one vault or one like token address, but then I can send that. Let's say I send 10 NFTs and 10 different tokens to my vault, but then I can do that transfer with just one transfer and transfer over all of my assets.
Yeah. So Emblem, you can put as many NFTs inside of a single NFT or single vault as you'd like. Inside of one, we'll use Ethereum for example. So if I wanted to take some Bitcoin, a CryptoPunk, and a Mad Lads from Solana, I could put it all inside of a single NFT on Ethereum and sell it all as a package deal. Just as recently some people have done is they've taken 31 Curio cards, which is a full set, put inside of a ETH NFT and then sell it as a package deal.
That's a good example for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
that's cool.
And then the other thing, as I wrote out the question, it looked like the AI was already answering it. I was basically going to ask, so does the bot give us like a analysis if the coin is safe, if the liquidity is locked, how much holders? And as I was writing out my question, the bot was already answering it.
Yeah, it's super cool. People think that the crypto AI meta was kind of like overblown because they thought that people in our industry were trying to build like AGI, but we're not trying to build AGI. The top AI companies already have like so much of a lead in terms of infrastructure and spend. No one's going to be able to compete with them, obviously, but they've become almost like public rails, public utilities where you just build on top of them, leverage their compute, and then power it on crypto rails. So a lot of this is just like easy automation, low hanging automation. We're kind of in like an analog stage of crypto at the moment where you're still doing all these transactions manually, and it's still super complicated for like new users to enter the industry because there's such a barrier. But everyone knows how to interact with ChatGPT or Gemini or Llama 2. And so just changing the crypto interface to something that's like recognizable to them is like 100x improvement for just the user experience. And then not only can they do these, more complex transactions if they need to, but it's also available there for them to ask questions, remedial information, things that you just like when you onboard people to crypto. There's always these like off the beaten path questions that they might want to ask, but they just don't know how or they're embarrassed. But now they can just shoot everything to the LLM, so everyone's kind of better off for it.
Yeah, one of the things that we spend a lot of time teaching is just the flow and just the onboarding. I was literally just having this conversation in our chat earlier. One of our newer traders was like, I finally got the flow down of like crypto, meaning like, hey, like if I want to trade futures, I gotta send whatever coin to the exchange. I gotta sell it for USDT. I gotta transfer that to my futures wallet and then go long. Or if I want to trade a meme coin, I gotta send funds to this wallet. So just the whole onboarding and flow process is still pretty tough.
Mm. And Chris, me and you were talking about this before, but like, I think like the ultimate goal here, especially for somebody that's super, super green to crypto is like, hey, I want to buy this token. Can you buy like just and then agent hustle just will pull from wherever and then buy that token for you, bridge it for you if it needs to, this and that for you. Just a really seamless process, and I think that's what you guys are working on.
100%. And it's just kind of like this bottoms up approach where so many of the errors, obviously one of the risks to crypto is just kind of so much user error, so many kind of phishing hacks, attacks like that, or just like mistyped transactions. And so we're kind of like obfuscating all these user errors away by pushing them through automation. So Hustle is going to obviously get, the route and the price and every kind of metric correct every single time. A human's not going to be able to do that. And just kind of like for traders in general, talk about like taking your emotions out of the whole process. If you're looking for a 25% gain on, X token, well, Hustle's going to sell that immediately for you. I mean, there's like bots and things like that that do something similar, but not like
Mhm.
full stack, full platforms that are kind of, especially in crypto, more so
Yeah.
for equities and things like that. I think bots are a little bit more advanced, but this is kind of
Right.
democratizing the crypto industry for everyone.
Yeah, I
Where
haven't.
the Go ahead, Art. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, I've been trying to get into the copy trading bots myself, and I do see it way more advanced for the stock market, way more advanced for futures for forex, but I don't see really anything that is doing the crypto market well.
Right. And I mean, crypto market's the easiest one, right? Because it's all transparent on chain. You can see the
Yeah.
data in real time. And so it's just a huge opportunity for someone like us to just come in and build it as just one of the tools that can kind of provide value to the end user.
hmm
Okay.
I want to see if we can get Jake back on. I had more questions about that bot. I think he got disconnected for a sec.
Yeah, he's typing right now.
Cool. Yeah, we'll get them
Um,
to do a full demo, but it's super
but
cool.
yeah, man, I mean, super impressive what you guys are working on for sure. Is there, anything in the pipeline in the future that you guys are coming up with?
Yeah, I mean, we just he kind of improves basically every week. And when Jake says that Shannon like builds with him, Hustle really kind of like builds himself a lot of the time too. Shannon's like a 100x dev, and then the AIs kind of help him build it out. So what just went live this week, or went live internally at least, was launching tokens on Pump Fund. You see
Yeah.
just kind of like the content coins over on Zora, and there's just kind of like this whole initiative to kind of launch tokens, whatever it is, for whatever reason. And that process is kind of tedious and just annoying in general, but you could just type
Yeah,
into Hustle exactly what you want. It'll launch the
for sure.
tokens. He's multi-platform, so you can like point him to YouTube. He can be watching a Trump or Elon speech and be like,
Mhm.
launch interesting tokens based on what Elon's saying or whatever, something like that.
That's cool.
Just kind of hit different like trend lines like that are just pretty unique to the market that doesn't really make
Mm,
sense outside of crypto, but in crypto, everyone's
Right.
like that obviously needs to exist. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
I wanted to ask, I'm not if you guys know that aspect just yet. So when the bot is doing the crypto trading, have you guys like figured out the way to, I guess, manage risk, right? Like let's say, if I'm copy trading someone's portfolio with, let's say, 100K, but I have 10K in my account, it does the bot like read some kind of feature if this person is risking, let's say, 3% of their account, it's going to risk 3% of my account, but obviously not the same magnitude of size.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, those are all, we're going to basically build him to be as customizable to the end user as possible. So that would be something that like a user would be able to kind of program for him. Like copy trade
Mhm.
this trader based on whatever percentage he allocates, allocate this percentage to mine. And so the
Sick.
LLM is so good at just taking natural language and
Mhm.
transforming that into actionable on-chain transactions. You know what I mean? So really
Yeah.
the point is, even though these are advanced like kind of trajectories and paths, you can just say it in layman terms to the AI and he can decipher what you're saying and kind of point you in the right direction. And then I'll give you like kind of a confirmation of the basically the criteria that you laid out.
Right. So if people in Stock Unlock were like, "Hey, like I am tired of putting in my trades. I just want to copy the trades that get sent out." They just turn on Agent Hustle. They say, "Yo, follow Arthur's trades. Only risk 3% of my account per trade. When it's up at X amount, take it, etc." and then it does all those steps.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Yeah.
Looks like we're gonna have a lot of clients coming your way.
I doubt. I mean,
No, me
This
and Chris were actually talking about this when he caught me with that goth girl at the park.
come on, bro.
I'm guilty.
Christ,
I had to
bro.
bring it up. But yeah. No, yeah, I mean, I think, dude, integrating, can you imagine integrating Agent Hustle, not even just our Discord, right? But like some sort of like white labeling process where like, where the copy trading is literally, synced in with like our alert bots and something like that.
Yeah.
And Jake's back too, and it does it like and it does it like close to real time, because I think like the biggest issue here too is like, especially with like trading discords, and it's something that's always going to be like how can we like make this part better is is the delay, right? The moment when Arthur's building out a trade or looking to get into something, to the moment he gets in and then types it out, there's like there could be a crucial delay in entry. And I think robots are the answer to this. Robots meaning AI.
Yeah.
Jake's
they're
back.
definitely kind of copy traders. You saw it when meme coins were pretty kind of hot. Like there was a copy trading meta, where everyone was kind of like copying like Frank D Gods or something like that. He would just kind of like ape into these random tokens. There would be
Yeah.
like 300 wallets that followed, just like a daisy chain, basically. But
Yeah.
those
And
seconds,
that's another thing too. Like, that's another problem, is because like copy trading, it works and then it doesn't work, right? Like obviously, these Coles that know they have copy traders will literally ape anything and play off of the volume of the copy trader, you know. But if there's some way to mitigate that, I'm assuming it's
yeah.
it
And once you guys kind of like talk with him and things like that, you'll just kind of get a better feel of like how he functions and what you can and can't do with him. So like I'm sure Jake will go over this soon, but kind of like what he's best at the moment, randomly, that's catching like wind with or fire with the community is he's really good at kind of finding tokens. So he's looking for like buy patterns, sell patterns, early buying behavior, volume, just transitions, and just kind of like suspicious activity, putting it through like a rug doctor and things like this, and coming up with like quality plays that are like on the lower side of market caps that people are having fun with. So he's kind of these early runners that end up being the runner of the week or the runner of the weeks, and he's able to kind of catch them pretty early on. Jake, I think that you had a prompt for that you came up with last live stream.
Yeah, it's on the other computer. So sorry, my internet went out of my house. Kind of weird, so I had to hop on my hotspot for this computer. But the cool thing with Agent Hustle, which I'm gonna start walking through here, is that you could
Chris is saying like he's already given life to this thing.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the real deal. Like I mean, there's like hundreds of people that use him every day, and the conversations we thought that they would be like much more remedial and like kind of intermediate, but they're actually like pretty advanced. Like they're actually building real strategies. Let's go through some of the maybe the more common prompts, and then we'll just talk about some of the results and stuff. Jake, shoot for it.
Yeah, so I'm walking through here. This is just kind of like the basic strategy, which people use, is called like this idea of a momentum based strategy, which is generally just this idea of, hey, browse through all of the on chain data, give me, what you consider to be a momentum based trade, which ones, have essentially already ran, which ones still have room to grow, and kind of give us a thesis on everything. And this is kind of like the beginning stages of this. And really what it does is, instead of having to sit there on, Photon or GMGN or any of these other kind of trading apps and having to sift through all of these new tokens that are just created, he basically does that for you. So it eliminates that friction quite immediately, where he's just putting these tokens in front of you, which is essentially just saying, hey, look at this. Hey, look at this token. Look at this token. And so it saves you probably hours having to look through these. And then you get to apply your own valuation to the token, or you ask him to go through and give even more analysis on some of these tokens. And so he's kind of just going through right now, and he's right now you can see he's doing a safety check on these tokens that he's going to present here shortly, and then we can go through and look at some of these other ones.
It's probably going to answer the question I was about to ask. Like, is there like kind of like a detailed bundle analysis and like, fresh wallets, token transfers to wallets, stuff like that?
Yeah. So the best way to kind of look at how these DeFi AI systems are is kind of two ways. You create like right, Cuck is the number one. It's
If you're
usually
outside of
pretty.
crypto, you just
Your
wouldn't
live
get
stream is
it.
something like off the wall. Like, if the normal person saw this, they'd be like, "You're live streaming this?" Like, but crypto, yeah, that's normal.
So for an AI, basically what is Trench's news network was hot yesterday too, I think. So basically he when you ask him a question like, hey, find these different tokens or whatever, there's like these various toolboxes that these AIs go to access. And these different toolboxes can be labeled simply as things like swaps, LP, balances, analysis, XYZ. I think he has like maybe 10 or 15 different toolboxes. And then he'll enter these different toolboxes, which have different APIs for different types of services or our own custom created in-house stuff. And then he has kind of a rule set that's applied against it. So whenever you ask for new tokens, you will access this like security toolbox where we've integrated some rug check services. We've also created kind of some of our own, and then he'll apply that to the tokens that you're asking for. So you can kind of see here. So let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. You can kind of see here where it says risk score. This is from rugcheck.xyz, right? So this is a different external service that people use. We've also integrated Soul Sniffer and a few others that'll come in and get this risk assessment. You can actually have them go even deeper. These are kind of just like the general values. You can literally extrapolate on any of these stats. So if I go in and I say, tell me more about 6 for holders, he'll come in and give an even more detailed breakdown on the holders.
Nice.
Yeah. And so
that's like the number one thing I look for is when I'm trading shitters is I look at the holders, obviously look at like, the distribution. I look at, what is an insider wallet? Like, did the dev launch any wallets, like any fresh wallets upon deployment? Was there a bunch of token transfers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, just so like I could avoid hopping into a rug as much as I can.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what everyone wants. Everyone wants gains. Everyone does not want to be rugged, right? And you always want to be early. Some of that stuff, some of the more intricate kind of things maybe is not available immediately because it all is different types of data sources. I guess it depends on which kind of security system you're using. For example, whether you're using Bubble Maps or Rug Check, right, or Soul Sniffer, or kind of all these other ones. I've seen like Soul Sniffer tend to be probably the best one. Bubble Maps is pretty good too, but at the end of the day, there's still some things that it's going to be missing. So it's actually showing the chart here as well. So look, this is the chart that he recommended live on stream. So it doesn't looks pretty good, to be honest, in terms of, I guess, what is this, that $1 million market cap, I believe.
Wow.
And so now he's coming down and see. I asked him, I said, tell me more about the holders for Cuck token. So now he's coming in and he's breaking it down much more in depth. So he says the top 5 holders have 29% of the supply. The creator wallet holds 18%. The remaining 71% is distributed among 1,400 holders. And then he comes in, he says the buy sell ratio, right? So some of the things that you see on like Dex Screener and stuff, he comes in and he applies his own kind of context to it. He says a trading network of 134 accounts has been identified with 26 million tokens. 16 active accounts in this network suggest some coordinated trading activity. However, this only represents 2.6% of the total supply. So that's funny. That's exactly like what you're looking for, right?
Yeah. Yeah, just like that. Yep.
Something that we kind of glossed over though that really makes Hustle stand out more than like other AI agents kind of on the market is that he has like persistent memory. So every time you log in with your wallet, he remembers your last interactions. He remembers all the things that you went through. And he's just generally learning day by day. So he's kind of like honing in on these different trading strategies. And people kind of do have like these complex relationships with him that kind of people didn't really have with like just a regular account. But I think ChatGPT launched memory last week. Is that right, Jake?
Yep. Yeah, and Grok as well did.
And Hustle's had memory for like 2 months. So there's been a couple of features that we
4 months.
kind of launched with Hustle that that were much earlier than even like ChatGPT and the people at the forefront of AI. So he has like these really advanced features that people just kind of they use, but they don't kind of really realize how critical or how kind of advanced they actually are. So that's kind of one of the coolest things about him.
Yeah, that's amazing, honestly. Yeah, no, I'm thoroughly impressed with the breakdown that it's giving right now for token analysis, to be honest. One thing I for the top 5% holders, and this is kind of just being nitpicky, is that distinguishing if one of those wallets is the liquidity pool?
So he will usually come in and say that, yeah, he will usually identify if that is the LP. It does not look like any of those were. So I just asked him, I said, what's your trading recommendation if I wanted to buy Cuck? So I'll just do it kind of as a example. So he says, consider 50% now, 50% if it dips 10 to 15%. So in this example, I'll just have him just set an order limit for 15% below the price, just to kind of show you, what it looks like.
Yeah, 1000%.
And so it makes it a little bit easier. So yeah, he is long-winded. You can actually shorten this as well by just saying, use less context or respond more concisely. Some people like the kind of long-winded stuff. Some people don't. Take two, or I'll say take two Sol and set an order limit at, we'll say 20% below current market price.
Stuff too, right? So like they use Emblem vaults as their non-custodial wallets. So you always have full like autonomy over your money. We never custody any of the assets. We can't access them. It's all on the user, but it's a multi-chain wallet, an Emblem vault. So just like the interactions are happening here on Solana, when we roll out Bitcoin, it's going to be the same exact interface, the same exact experience. Whereas like other AI platforms, they have to integrate something like Xverse or Unisat wallet or whatever, but we use our own wallets, and there's so much innovation just in the wallet level that we have that makes the experience like 10 times smoother than kind of a lot of other products will be.
Yeah.
Dude,
so this is legit a super premier product, man. And correct me if I'm wrong, like it's like completely free.
Right now it is free, yes. So you could go to agenthustle.ai. You could come in and use it as much as you want. We've had it live for about a month. It is leaning towards or looking like next month we'll be announcing some new business model for this. Most of the other platforms, I would say the other top kind of 5 or 6 platforms include Wayfinder, Banker, Anon, and Griffin. And us, I would say, is probably the top 5. There's a few more that have kind of popped up recently. Half of these are using like subscription-based models where it's like you pay this amount per month and you get this many kind of prompts. Some other ones you're doing like you buy this wallet for X amount of Sol per month, and then you kind of have it for whatever the time allotment is. And I believe Hayanon is doing something a little bit more DeFi kind of tokenomic, model moving into the future, where it's like a certain amount of these tokens represent a certain amount of these prompts, and it gets burned, and there's rev sharing and stuff like that. For us, like we've built this to try to, attract I guess you would say the average or kind of the everyday trader who doesn't need to execute their transaction in 5 seconds because they're trading, this 3% spread between these two tokens to arbitrage it. This is more, you have a little bit more time on your hands. You want to, create a strategy with Hustle and really kind of go about it in your own different way. Because what we've learned is some people like this kind of momentum-based strategy where they're looking in the trenches for tokens. We have some other people who have Hustle kind of create strategies with different types of TA that's within the chart. Is more of kind of a traditional model. Some people like to do just kind of like LP strategies, which are cool as well. Yield optimization in kind of different types of ways. And we're kind of really just following what the users want. So kind of just to go back to this real quick, we can see that he did set an order limit now at 20% below the current market price. You could see the token's almost 2 cents of a penny. Target price is 0.0015, and it says Sol. So the expiration is set for 24 hours. You can actually come in here and click on the hash, and so that it will be able to show you. See that the transaction 0.2 was initiated, and if you go to the limit order, it should show up here in the limit orders. See, yep. So you could come in here and see
Nice.
where it was set, and you could come in here and look at the chart. So if it drops about right here, I think it was 0.0115. Yeah, so about right here, it'll auto buy it. And what's cool is kind of what we're building towards next is this idea of automated trading. I believe there's a handful of teams who are also trying to do this, which is this idea of if Hustle can find a token, if he could sort through the analysis. So now I'm saving a few hours having to find a token, and he can buy it for me. Now let's also have him sell it for me automatically. That would have probably, if I could have that, that probably increases my P&L quite drastically, because I could just have him, find 5 tokens a day and sell it for 10% gains. And
Right.
you have a
Oh my
50%
God. I'm getting
day,
the
right?
chills, Jake. I'm getting
That's
the
the
chills.
So I have a question. So Chris was saying, as you talk to it more, right, it learns you more and more. And then you guys were saying that you could basically feed it a strategy, and then it can learn your strategy. Um, are you able to ask it, hey, based off of everyone using you, like who has the most profitable strategy? Can you tell me their strategy? Like, will it tell you what other users are doing that is successful?
Yep, user created 1 second of strategies that have been used with you. So Arthur, you actually hit kind of directly on where the direction of where we're building, which is this idea of the gamification of prompts, or you could call it the gamification of strategies. So think of it kind of like, so I asked him what are the best strategies that people have created with him so far. So multi-tier limit order laddering, meme coin token momentum surfing. That's essentially kind of what we're doing right now. Liquidity mining. So it says this is dual pool rotation. So that looks like kind of a LP strategy. The one's called the insider signal strategy. So it looks like it's using it's like tracking wallets to basically watching KOLs and seeing which ones they buy. News-based DCA automation. So there's like all kinds of kind of different ones that people are using. But where you're kind of leading towards next is just this idea of how can I use the strategy that somebody else has created, right? It's we've been kind of joking about, last cycle, the kind of quote was, what's the CA? And the cycle before that's what NFTs are we sweeping? I think next cycle is just going to be what's the prompt, bro? Right. So if you just feed me what the prompt is, then, you can kind of follow whatever they're doing. And it's kind of two-sided here, where if you have if there's a lot of people using Agent Hustle and he's continually, everyone's using the same prompting strategy, or he's feeding everyone the same tokens, it makes you think of like, right, how high will that token go if everyone's kind of buying the same thing? Obviously, then everyone has to use him for an exit strategy at some capacity. But we are thinking pretty heavily in this idea of sharing prompts. Maybe you can do this in a way of if you upload your strategy with Hustle, and what a strategy is just a prompt times Hustle's context. So it means like if you went back and forth with Agent Hustle creating a strategy for 10, 20, 30 prompts, you can then actually tell him, because he has a memory, to save this trading strategy, and he'll save it in his memory. And so you can actually access that at any point in time. So on my other computer we on before the internet died, I was gonna show that, but I don't have that on this computer. But then being able to take that strategy and upload it to, some sort of mini app, like here, if it said like tools, trenches, whatever, or if we created another kind of drop down and the category was fun, right? And then you just created something like the randomization of prompts or, user generated strategies. That's the kind of direction that we want to build in, because there's so many there's so many different things that people are using Hustle for. It's really hard to track all of it, but having that as kind of a library for anyone to use, I think is very important. One final kind of point here is, it really leads to this idea that, for decades, Wall Street's been using kind of AI algorithm bots for decades. And for about for about 10 years or so in crypto, a lot of developers have had the upper hand on retail because they're developing their own bots, but they're using, 10, 20, 30 bots. This is what MEV is. But now if you give that same tooling to retail and anybody can use, and everybody has the same exact tooling, makes you wonder kind of where the edge is for the trader. And for us, we think it's prompting and creating strategies and being creative with the AI so that you can automatically execute these strategies. And if you're successful, then people will probably copy trade you. And that's kind of how you know that your strategy has some sort of credence.
We got people in our group asking, is the official link agenthustle.ai? Yes, it is, folks.
Yep. Yes, it is.
And he's multi-platform, so you can have him like, if you're into stock trading or whatever, you can have him crawl certain web pages or certain communities that you're looking for, or take like social data. We're going to have API integrations where if you have general APIs that you use, you can run it through him as kind of like his brain, influence like his kind of thoughts and kind of experience like that. But just a lot of cool stuff that we can kind of white label or kind of key in for like segments of users. And I mean, the community is loving it so far, so it's pretty sick to watch his growth.
So I pulled up here. This is called what?
Looks like tomorrow is his biggest day, or yesterday was his biggest day. So pretty sick on the analytics.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we just surpassed 1,000. Last week we had over 1,000 unique users to the platform, which is double from when we started a month ago.
Dude, this is kind of huge. I'm like very impressed. Like,
and it's all like showcases like this. It's not like hardcore marketing. It's just like walking people through the product and kind of getting feedback and making some changes and improving the platform. But to get like concurrent users on a tech platform all at once without a lot of stuff breaking is extremely hard in general. And he's been fully operational for over a month, so pretty sick.
Yeah. So this website that I'm on here is called agenthustlepromptlibrary.io. This was created by a community member 2 days ago on the 19th. So we've already got a few people who've come in and submitted their prompts. Some of them are, really kind of easy and quick, where, they're posting them on Twitter and kind of, giving a simple kind of one-liner. I've seen some people like Bratoshi, who's actually this person here. I think he's the most efficient trader I've seen so far. He has a prompt that's literally
Challenge
like paragraph.
accepted.
It's like 2-3 paragraphs long that he'll come in and do it. So this was just uploaded, and we're getting a lot of people to try to upload their strategies. But then obviously it's this other side of it where, hey, if I'm giving everyone my, my prompt, then, what's the reward for me? So we're trying to figure out kind of where that middle area is where everybody can win. But you could see here, look at this like prompt. It's, it's got 3 different kind of areas of categories, 7 different specifications for it. This one says identify tokens with significant disparity between on-chain activity and market sentiment. He does track market sentiment. So for example, one of the and I'll run it on here. One of the live streams we did last week, we actually had him analyze all of the new tokens based off of their mimetic potential or their kind of social signal, and he categorized all of them based off of what was the highest market cap for a meme coin category within the last 24 hours. I think at the time it was like furries or something like that. But yeah, you there's really, this is maybe a few percentage points of what the potential is, or even just what people have really come to discover about it.
wow.
I'm gonna have some fun prompting to figure out here.
Oh, Arthur's a big Chat GPT guy, so he's gonna love this.
Hell yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, he loves doing prompts all day. Prompt this, prompt that.
Right.
All
Did you ask
day.
ChatGPT this?
Have
Now
you
it's
guys seen,
did you ask Agent Hustle this? That's what it is.
dude? I got Chat GBT as my personal trainer, as my
Same, bro.
dietitian, everything.
Yeah, we use AI every single day. The whole team is just like on board all day, every day for everything that we can ever use it. That's why like my ChatGPT stream is just like the most random shit every 10 minutes. You know, if you like read it as like a single unit, you'd be like, this guy has schizophrenia, man. What's going on with him?
This guy's nuts.
But
You know, we can also launch a meme coin on stream if we want. We just added that feature on
That's right.
Sunday, so we're still kind of experimenting with that as well.
No, dude, that's one of the main things I'm gonna be
Lawn drugs?
trying out.
What?
to be honest.
On drugs and then have them sell it automatically.
coins, so you don't have any repercussions. You can do whatever you want. But I mean, like we have like a couple 100 million people interacting through the web in these like ChatGPT like terminals, right? We have like 10 or 25 million that people that have ever like interacted on chain. So like people already know the way that they want to interact with the web and crypto and everything like that. It's a terminal like this, and so just we have like a real opportunity to kind of change the entire way that users interface and onboard with crypto. And I think that this is kind of like far and wide the best product on the market for that. We didn't like build it to be a super advanced trader. He just ended up being able to really kind of process and have like a strong, pretty decent opinion on all of these things so far. We really built him to be like an on-chain assistant that can take care of like immediate to like semi-advanced level traders or
Oh, it looks like my cuck limit order hit, I believe. Right. So I don't think it bought. Oh, it doesn't look like it hit everything though.
Sick.
Oh yeah, because you asked to buy 20% under, and then it dipped, I think.
Yeah, so it looks like he bought like a little bit of it, but it is in a game because it came down. It was like I think I had it as like right down here or something. So it looks like only a portion of it, the order got filled actually.
Good momentum.
But it did hit, yeah.
We got a question in the chat. Can I pull info on NFTs as well as crypto and stocks? And I believe you guys already answered that, and it was yes, right? They can also pull information on NFTs.
No. Wait. I don't know.
It's not like fully integrated.
Yeah, you can't trade them, is what it is.
Yeah,
gotcha.
So we have to put on the functionality, but the goal is to connect all of our products, and then to have Hustle automate the vaulting process for NFTs, trade them cross chain, and everything like that. So,
do you guys plan on having? Oh, I mean, here's like a something that probably everybody would want, but like it's I'm sure it's it's a lot more complex than that. But popular mints coming up. Can Agent Hustle hunt those down?
Ooh, like a mint bot? That's probably like too kind of niche for him, just because the competition in that like specific sector is going to be the best in the world. Yeah, I don't think he would be super effective for like a hot mint, to be honest.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So the thing with like AI is if you wanted to do like a single transaction, it's much faster to just do these like to like buy it through here. Like buy it through these like quick buttons or doing it through the swap module. But doing, multi-step transactions where you want him to take everything in your wallet, sell it for SOL, and then use that SOL to, mint, mint whatever the hottest kind of NFT is. Like that is probably much better to do through an LLM. And then once you get, a few months down the road to where a lot of that can be automated or where he can actually kind of do his own context and searching, I think that's kind of where the sweet spot is.
Okay.
Yeah, just because you're going to have latency for everything going through the LLM. So like a mint bot that doesn't use an LLM isn't going to have the same level of latency, obviously.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, this is I mean, dude, this is a lot more than like a lot of the AI infrastructure that you see that's out right now, to be honest. Like a lot of it's just like very like some of it's just like white paper ambition. This is like an actual like, dude, this is done. This is completed.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
It works great. It's like a pretty mature product. In crypto, it's hard to get
Mhm.
any type of product to market, let alone a product that people want to use and that functions the way that it's supposed to function. So dev team just done an incredible job, and just, we're really growing him pretty steadily. If you have like these crash out and crash in moments of like adoption, like your server costs and your infrastructure costs balloon just insanely high, and you can't really like kind of plan for that going forward. So it's super important, like not only that the product and the platform work well, but the user retention is there, and you can just kind of grow it organically in line with
Yeah.
like forecasting like your infrastructure costs. Otherwise, you're going to blow yourself up.
Yeah.
So all in all,
Yeah.
just spectacular performance, and super stoked on all of his growth.
Yeah.
So
Agent
so watch
Hustle,
this.
how can I be a
just
diabolical trader? Give me the juice.
I'll hit
so
him with
I
some.
just used Grok in the background to create an image called Stocks Unlocked, and this is how we could use him to launch a meme coin behind it. Honestly, so just toying around here.
Beast, bro.
Guys, if you guys
Gosh.
see a coin drop all of a sudden called Stock Unlock, just go full port.
Yeah.
Jake
Yes, I'm
Paul
asking
got
him
'em
what
all.
the image is. Right. Well, the cool part here too is like when you launch a coin with him, you can actually have him buy. You can have him be the first buyer as well. So you can actually kind of snipe your own token
Oh,
out of
nice.
it.
I mean,
It even says there's a small Grok watermark on it.
But I mean, we'll be integrating Base, we'll be integrating Solana, Bitcoin. So what you see here is just like literally what he can do, but he can do on every chain. So, when we
Mhm.
launch on Base, that you can be like, launch this coin on Zora, or launch this coin over on Solana through ADM or whatever. And just having like that all-in-one platform experience is sick.
Yeah.
And then, Cuck is moving, dude. Look at
Yeah,
I
you.
see your
Chad-
It's up
mind
almost
racing.
100.
I see
Chad
your
said,
mind
Almost.
Chad
racing.
said Cook is
Believe in it.
ripping, dude.
The
Guys,
Yeah.
Agent Hustle just called out a freaking heater.
banger, bro.
What
It's
the
crazy.
heck?
Dude. A Vayner, yeah, dude. It happens every time. Like it's almost up. I think it's up 2x from the entry already.
And just like a quick note
Um,
too is like, this infrastructure is really cool on Solana and really cool on Base, but you can do a lot of these transactions already. But on something like Bitcoin, there's no on-chain infrastructure. You can't trade on chain or kind of set limit orders or buy anything like that. So this is like this would be like a revolutionary kind of interface for Bitcoin alone.
Yeah.
That's what we're launching next.
Dude, it named a token Stonk You. No way, dude.
There's one thing I wanted to bring up too, because and this is what I love about this too, because I'm either bugging Arthur, or Arthur's bugging me to because at some point like he won't have any Soul, but he'll have like a bunch of ETH or a bunch of Bitcoin, or I'll just have Soul, I don't have ETH, and he's buying shit on this network, I'm buying shit on that network, and he's like, oh, can you put some Soul in there for me? Now we could be like, you know what, Arthur, let's launch a pump fund token right now. All I got is ETH. Agent Hustle, bridge ETH to Soul, launch this token right now. Do it on the spot with this
Yes,
image,
sir.
and it'll do it
100%.
in a timely manner too, which is, I mean, that's incredible.
And that's one of the most annoying parts about crypto, right? You always have the wrong currency, or you need to get into some pool, or you need just for 10 seconds to be on this chain over here. And just to automate that away and kind of obfuscate all that user error that goes into that, putting that address in, making sure you send in the right amount, get the right amount back, swap your coins. It's just like a tedious process that's just so much more like better by being automated.
And you know what's even cooler too is when somebody goes to cash out their crypto, right? Like now that Agent Hustle has memory, have it remember your Coinbase address. Hey, Agent Hustle, convert all of my crypto to USDC on this network, send it to my Coinbase address, and then you're cashing out quickly.
Yeah, bro. One of the features that we will be bringing to him that we were kind of surprised that doesn't even exist is an address book where you can just kind of save your contacts. This is Trader Wallet 1. This is Trader Wallet 2. This is my Ethereum address. This is my Bitcoin bank, whatever. And then he can just remember all of your contacts and just kind of organize your wallets accordingly. Because I have like hundreds of wallets. I don't know what I did with any of them, right? It's just frustrating.
Like I literally spent a week looking for my Sui wallet. Like I just found it yesterday.
It was under your mattress, or where'd you find it, bro?
I found it in like one of my 1,000 Phantom wallets. I was like, oh, geez, there it is. And, stuff like that. But like,
so he's just going to be able to kind of make life so much easier. He's not focused on kind of making you trillions of dollars overnight, but he's totally focused on reducing user error and making your life way easier and way more efficient through just sifting through all the, the noise and finding the signal.
Mhm.
Has Stonk you hit bond yet, or what?
Yeah, what's the details?
Yeah,
here?
right. Well, look at it. You can see it. So you can see it right here. I don't think
Nine,
anyone's
9 years in the space, and we just launched our first token right on live.
Stonk you, bro. Stonk you. So he said the description is the first meme coin bridging traditional finance and crypto, unlocking financial freedom one token at a time. When stonks only go up, Stonk you unlocks the game.
I see it on the GMGN right now.
No
Right.
way. Dude,
Yeah.
put a soul in it, bro. Watch this thing rip.
For the
Sideline.
boys. Do it for the
Sideline.
boys. Sideline, dude. Right. So, it's fun because we sit here and we kind of test all this stuff out, right? We're doing this in a market right now that the liquidity has just been sucked out of over the last, month or two.
Yeah.
So you just think about, really it's about using this tooling now for when the liquidity does come back, because if it can find, the one runner of the day for, a 100% gain, which it's done on this stream, imagine what it's like in an environment where where there's like 10 runners in a day, right? You could
Right.
literally just
Right.
you can literally just automate it to go back and forth between these different pairs, and you can put these kind of you could put this context or these prompts of like, hey, look for this token that has 5 million in trading volume over a 30-minute period, has to have these amount of holders, or it came from this wallet, right? Or kind of all these other ones, and automate it as well. That's really what I'm excited for, is once we have this automated trading. The exit on its own strategy is by far my favorite, because I never know when to exit a position, to be honest.
And it
Yeah.
does take that like degen out of it, because dude, every time I put a soul in and it goes crazy, I'm like, I'll just hold it a little bit. But if I had the bot just executing for me, I'd probably have way more soul.
Facts.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's why Agent Hustle is here. Cause at this point in time, like it's a numbers game. Like the days of until, like Jake was saying, when liquidity comes back in, the day of sleeping on a token is far long gone.
Facts.
You can't like you're probably in a token no more than 2 hours at this current time, and then they just die. They all die. You're starting to see a couple more frequent runners now and then, but it's still a difficult environment to trench in for sure. But yeah,
And
We
crypto
already
is
got
so global,
comments in the chat.
right?
Who's ready to do some degen shit?
what's that, Chris?
So, and crypto is just like so global. It was never really important to have like a bot that was able to run 24/7, because you had traditional legacy markets that are closed hour by hour, whatever it would be. But now, sometimes like China's popping or Europe's popping. And so just to have like a monitor that's able to transact on chain on your behalf, if it fits your
Yeah.
parameters 24 hours a day, is like a game-changing experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I need to quickly learn how to master Agent Hustle. And I'm not even just saying that because you guys are on here, but seriously, like
Yeah.
if you guys can't see how fruitful this can be for you in your day-to-day trading journey, just have like a second guide of insight too. Like I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I mean,
So here's
and,
a question everyone's
yeah,
waiting for. Shit. I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
no, shoot for it. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, everyone's going crazy in the chat. So how do our members use this? Do we get access to this yet? Are we able to use this?
Yeah. Yeah, it's free for anyone. Go to agenthustle.ai. There is something called directives. It's basically like a one-click kind of onboarding system. It generates the wallet for you. All you have to do is deposit one SOL, but you can move it out anytime you want. That's just to kind of initialize the wallet and just and it helps you kind of go through these kind of pre-prompts. There's one where it's like it buys 25,000 Tensorium, which is the ticker of the token. It sets up a $5 liquidity pool. It buys like a runner in the last 5 minutes for 0.01 SOL. So once you kind of go through these steps, it really helps you understand, what could be done. And then you can use it just as you would. We're covering, all the inference costs and everything for now. And at next month, we'll probably be unveiling the new business model, which will probably be some sort of combination between subscriptions with Sol, or some sort of staking with Tensorium, the token, to unlock different types of features. And then eventually, as the product progresses, we'll get much deeper into the tokenomics. Just right now, I need to stand it up and get some of this, get the automated trading out, and make sure that our basis is covered and ensure that we have the best model in the industry comparative to everybody else. I think Agent Hustle, in terms of DeFi AI products, I think Agent Hustle is the best AI out there because we've just basically custom built it from the ground up. Some other products have different types of financial tooling that they're much further ahead, where some of them have, you could do like perpetual trading, or you can go and stake your Solana, or do some bridging and stuff like that. But we've just focused mostly on the strategies creation, the humanization between the user and the bot, and to really build the strategy, because we've found that the sticky portion of this product is that the people who've been sitting here for months, talking with Agent Hustle, are the ones that are posting 100, 200% trading days pretty much daily, because they've mastered whatever that prompt is and that they know how to use it at the exact same moment, and they have them saved across the board.
Well, like
Yeah.
I said, I can't wait to get my hands on some of these prompts and see what I could do with my trading strategies.
What
I
type of
actually,
trader are you, man? Are you a TA guy still, or are you a price action guy?
yes, I am a full-on momentum trader. So let's see what I can try to prompt up. But yeah, only TA still. I mean, for my long term, I buy like the companies that I like. But even when I'm buying my long term, there's still TA involved, always.
Yeah, it's smart, man. I mean, the last year and a half, it's really, I feel like TA has been pretty much wrecked in the last year and a half, because meme coin is really hard to TA.
No,
For
But
you can't
once,
memes,
TA.
yeah,
You can't TA low caps.
I
that's what
agree
I'm
with that.
saying. Like, because of
Yeah.
meme coins, it's impossible to, right? So TA traders have just gotten wrecked. Anyone who tries to, I mean, maybe you could TA some of the higher market cap ones, but and
Yeah,
That's all
when
we
it's still
do.
in the trenches, yeah, when you're in the
Yeah.
trenches, dude, it's impossible.
yeah, no, yeah. That's why we literally have like a different channel for like low caps, and that's just based on conviction, based on community, based on what makes like memes grow. And then once they
Mhm.
reach a certain market cap, then it's considered like a crypto trade,
Yeah.
Yeah.
quote
Like
unquote.
for example, like
Yeah.
Fartcoin, right? Like Fartcoin going to like, its start
That's
like its floor is pretty much like 800, 900. Uh except for yesterday or 2 days ago when it like when it when it nuked to like what 7 or something like that. But it maintains like around 8 or 9, but that's still like a pretty large market cap for a meme coin.
Dude, yeah.
But like for me, dude, meme coins are strictly like just a pop
Speaking of
culture
fart
event.
coin, the thing is ripping right now and breaking out and about to hit our other PTs that we got in the
Yeah.
chat.
let's
Yeah.
go.
TA, you need a lot of liquidity and you need a big market cap for sure.
But
But yeah, I think like low cap memes are just straight up a culture event at the end of the day. And then for the trenches, man, like you're literally scalping volume until that thing dies 2 hours later, pretty much. And hopefully you don't get rugged. But yeah, dude,
Where does the stocks unlock guys mostly trade on? Are you doing on chain trading on Solana, on ETH, or are you guys trading on exchanges?
Exchanges, Mexi is our main one, and then BTCC as a backup. We brought BTCC in as a backup because for a long time Mexi was making KYC mandatory, but then they stopped it again. So we're just right back to Mexi, but BTCC is just a good backup because they don't need KYC, you don't need a VPN, and they're actually really easy to like onboard fiat. Like you can use your debit card to buy 5-10 grand worth of fiat on
yeah.
there, and they sell it to you as an NFT. So and the way that the product is registered to the bank, because banks are so anal about like letting you buy crypto, the way that it's processed as a transaction is different because it's sold as an NFT, and then that way you can get past like buying with the debit card, especially for people that have like
yes,
Chase and stuff.
that's fire.
It's
Yeah.
smart. It's really
And then
smart.
for memes that aren't listed, I'm GMGN.
Yeah.
GMGN, now Agent Hustle,
I
know.
love it, Fody. I mean, really, when we came into this industry, um, when we were doing kind of like a overall market analysis of what DeFi AI is, We really actually compared it to the Telegram trading bot services. And when you look at that, cumulatively across all of the Telegram trading bot services last year, they generated 1.2 billion in fees across like 20 companies or so. And so, looking at Agent Hustle, we're like, okay, this is probably something similar because it's a trading assistant or a companion. But it can be much larger because it could launch tokens. It gives you context, right? It has a bunch of other features on top of it. So we're like, over the next few years, I think this is something that can be much larger than the Telegram trading bot business. And they probably at some point over maybe 3 years or so end up becoming kind of the same industry where things like GMGN will probably have their own version of Agent Hustle or Agent Hustle, right? We have a Telegram bot that we're building that'll be launched once we get everything on Solana built, and you'll just see everyone really go and compete overall. But effectively, I would say that like DeFi AI is kind of just Telegram trading bot times AI plus a lot more features.
Yeah, for sure. No, man.
And
It's
for
go ahead.
for just kind of like these trading strategies, even for advanced traders, sometimes like a more advanced trader is more looking at to what like intermediate traders would be buying, especially in like meme coin markets, right? It's not what I'm interested in buying, it's what I think other people would be interested in buying. And so if there's going to be like a lot of more amateur or intermediate traders on some of these platforms like Agent Hustle, then more advanced traders would want to get on there to see what they would be buying or what Hustle would be recommending that they buy. So it's kind of like an interesting kind of feedback loop where even though it's kind of catered towards more of a beginner user or intermediate, it kind of like loops in more advanced traders just so that they could see what maybe some smaller fish might be buying. So interesting game theory there.
It's a like life hack. That's a hack right there.
Yes, sir.
That is. Honestly, Chris, you're not even. I kind of say low key because, like, I don't know, but like, you're a wealth of knowledge, man. Like, you just get it, not just crypto in general, but you just get how everything works and how everything intertwines.
Yeah, man.
That's my quant, bro.
Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, a little background on me and Nick too. I mean,
He always says the same shit to me.
we've been in crypto forever, and we really believe in crypto, and we've been like crypto
Yeah.
idealists forever, and people that we think like did the industry right, and never like were in it to make a quick dollar or to grift from anyone or anything, and just like believe in
Yeah.
building like substantive products. You know what I mean? Like Emblem
Yeah.
Vault is like an institution. We have like over $100 million in TVL. We don't fluff any of our numbers. We have real users. We've been around for almost a decade. We're going to do the same thing with AI, and just kind of having the foresight and kind of like the venture vision to see where all this is going and kind of be able to program a product that kind of matches that vision is like insane. So to have like me and Jake and Adam and just the whole team with like, we've all been in crypto since 2016 and earlier, Shannon got in like 2012. And just to kind of like build at the forefront of this industry and see the opportunity that AI can, with powered by crypto rails can kind of do for the world is totally insane. It's kind of being written off as like a game or as like, something that isn't serious because like I said earlier, people think that we're trying to recreate or just build AGI in crypto. That's totally not what the crypto AI sector is going to look like. It's all about like the automation of on chain. And Agent Hustle is just like an incredible example of a phenomenal product that's like filling a niche and a need, to the user. And we're not really into like any of the buzzwords or flashy marketing or, trying to pump anything to the heavens. It's just like building a strong product that we really believe in and that the community kind of really loves to use.
I mean, dude, there's 515 concurrent viewers right now.
Let's
Let's
go.
go. People
That's
are
pretty
interested,
sick.
man.
A lot on X. There's a lot on X. Watching.
We think that this is like the biggest segment of the crypto industry, AI crypto. I mean, if you guys use AI all the time, AI is going to touch every aspect of your lives. And especially in crypto where it's so complicated to use. Most users don't even know where to get started. But now you have a simple interface that you can just ask whatever you want. One of our favorite features is because, we have a tech company, right? Tech companies are extremely hard. There's always shit going wrong. And so you have like extreme, a lot of your time is spent on like like customer service or just product analysis. But anytime anything's wrong with Hustle, we just tell the user to ask him how to fix it, and Hustle walks how to fix the issue. So it's just like so easy. It's amazing.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
It's the benefit, man, dude. It's fun to play in this space. It's exciting to understand and just kind of think about where it's going to go. And from our kind of product standpoint, you try to think of what these new tools are, but then also kind of how to gamify it to get, to build the next pump fund, to build the next Uniswap, right? To build the next Jupiter. Like, what are these kind of things that people want to do? We were kind of fortunate enough that when we launched Hustle a month ago, we thought, it could take a few months until the users kind of figure out what the platform's for. And instantly within a few days, we were like, okay, finding tokens in the trenches is what people want. That was like, and people were winning doing it. Like, that was like it was so quick. Whereas, we kind of hit lightning twice because Emblem Vault was the same thing. It was launched, the NFT product was launched in 2020. And within 5 months or 4 months, the Bitcoin NFT community decided, hey, I'm going to take this tool and start trading rare Pepes on Ethereum, which then ended up trading over $100 million in volume in 1 year alone. And
so rare Pepes originated on Bitcoin?
Yeah.
That's right.
Their 2016 NFT collection.
So they were in order. Were they in order or were they not in order?
No, the protocol counterparty comes almost 10 years before ordinals were created. It's
Holy
2014.
crap, dude.
Yeah, so they used that. So they used Emblem. Yeah, so they used Emblem to basically trade on Ethereum at a time when the NFT market was popping off, and there was a lot of volume over there. So it was the same thing, kind of with Agent Hustle, where users said, "Hey, I want to use them to find a token and to buy a token." And so now we're starting to kind of lean into, okay, what do the users want? They're like, okay, I want to find and buy a token. I want to set an order limit, like we did with Cuck, right? Because they're like, he gave me a good recommendation, but I think it's going to go a little bit lower. And that's exactly what happened. I actually just looked at Cuck, and now it's it's almost at 150% up since we'd purchased that.
So crazy because I'm a Cuck in real life, but anyway.
No, dude, I was just saying, like, well, we kind of all became Cucks because we watched Cuck do its thing and we didn't participate. Well, actually, the agent did, but we didn't.
That's it. And
yeah,
dude, I just remember, dude, I've been following you guys. Well, Jake, I mean, I've known you because we worked at Omni together. Chris, I've known you forever too. And, but like, I've been following your guys' NFT journey, I feel like, since day one. Like, I know Jake as the Mooncat guy. Chris, I remember this, like, I had this like weird, vivid memory of me and you at the Wind, and you're talking to me about CryptoPunks, and like how you have these, I swear, and how you had this CryptoPunk. I was like, oh, dude, that's insane, that's sick, and you were telling me how much it was. I was like, what? I was so confused, but like, dude, and just from then on, yeah, I've low-key, like, just been kind of following you, not really saying much, just been following what you guys are doing. I dabbled in some of the NFT history stuff too with Adam. Like, I used to buy a ton of stuff that Adam would chill on X.
Adam's a legend, bro.
Like the Terra Nullius, those, remember those, you remember
that
Terra
was a
Nullius?
crazy time. Yeah, that was a crazy time.
Yeah. And I remember your guys' like Blackstone. Was it called Blackstone or Blackfire or whatever? What was it called?
Oh, when we used to do the meetups at Blackfire.
Yeah.
Blackfire.
Yeah. Like,
now you're talking about your real life stuff. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
bro.
I remember it.
I mean, we've been really kind of like working towards a lot of this stuff for a long time. And there's like, and Shannon, like our founders, like been building this vision for like ever. And he's like the definition of like work 10 years to be like an overnight success type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're just like stoked on the progress that the platform is making. We're gaining users. The average trade volume is going up, meaning like average dollars spent per transaction is going up. People are clearly getting like super comfortable with the platform, which is awesome to see. And Emblem is like really kind of methodical and smart about the way that we're building things, and just kind of like we're an NFT company, right? We kind of like pioneered this kind of tokenized NFT wallet that you can use across different blockchains, and we were never like super like proficient on the liquid token side. And now you see like Agent Hustle is mainly focused on liquid tokens and things like that. So some of the best features that we haven't even added yet, which is like cross-chain NFTs. We're the really kind of only NFT bridge in the entire industry. It's completely non-custodial. We never have custody of your assets or anything like that. And so, when we launched these features for Agent Hustle and some of these other AI platforms launched these features for NFTs, when they want to move NFTs cross-chain, they're going to have to use Emblem Vault because that's the only kind of infrastructure available for it. And so there's like a lot of these things that we're kind of building towards that will all kind of culminate for like one really epic product. So we're stoked to kind of work on tying it all together one by one. Sick to see.
Dude. Now that I think about it, like, yeah, there's really no like bridging platform that does it like Emblem Vault. To be honest, I mean there is some omni-chain kind of protocols, but like to me, and I was
those are all like Burn and Mint.
They're a mess.
Burn and Mint.
They're a mess to me.
Tokenize the private key.
Yeah.
Trade it in an NFT on the other blockchain. So completely like novel approach. I mean, knock on wood, we welcome competition, but there's really no competition building the way that we are. And we really innovated at the wallet level. And so many of these blockchains use the same kind of infrastructure at the wallet level, like public key, private key technology. That's what Emblem's based on. And so we can kind of integrate all of these blockchains at the wallet level, which obviously from first principles, that's where you want to be innovating. A lot of people are trying to innovate like in the cross-chain world at the token level, but the token standards are all different. They don't communicate with each other. There's no way to blend them together. And so their approach is kind of like really jumbled, even out of the box. So we really believe like the direction that we're building from like the wallet level up is really like the correct and kind of easiest way in terms of like, moving across blockchains. I think that's like the easiest and kind of simplest way to do so. And we're the best ones.
On the contrary, like, you say that too, but like I'm noticing this, like you guys are a super small team, but the velocity you guys are working at and putting out product and like hitting these like milestones is like it's actually kind of insane, compared to like a super funded AI bullshit. Like I said, white paper ambition project that hasn't put anything out yet, and it's been months. It's kind of insane.
I appreciate that. We run, very efficiently. We, all 8 people on the team are very talented in different types of ways. And it's taken us a few years to kind of understand how to lean onto everybody's strengths. But I feel like we are now hitting on all cylinders. And with the Agent Hustle product, I think it really is showcasing it even more that, we're able to take all of our skill sets and apply it to a newly forming industry and be able to execute very well to basically compete as, a top 10 product in the DeFi space kind of overall, at least from, if you're not reflecting just like the token value itself, but like the amount of users, 1,000 doesn't seem like a lot that we're interacting with the platform last week alone, but we're not fluffing our numbers. These are just like real people who are coming in and who are interested in it. And we're seeing people with real gains. And obviously you would like to have, a lot of money that was funded towards the company so that you can, optimize for growth over optimizing for revenue. But I feel like we're doing very well. And for the small team comparative to some of the others that are literally 5 or 10 times the amount of size, like we're exceeding in some areas and we're kind of, and some other teams are excelling in the other areas, but we're competing very well comparative to it. But the cool part of being small and nimble is that we're able to listen to our users and make decisions based off of the recommendations that they have and we're able to pivot to wherever the kind of newly forming narratives may be. So like for an example, over the last like week or two, we've gotten a lot of users kind of hinting at this idea of like randomized prompting where they just want to be able to, it's kind of like the I'm feeling lucky button on Google, where users just want to click a button, Hustle buys a token for them kind of thing. So we've been really trying to think about how to go about that in the right type of way, because users are now understanding how to go about it and they want to have fun and do it. Like for most people, putting 2 or 3 buttons in front of them that says, hey, if you hit this button, it's probably, 5% chance of winning, but the potential is, 1,000x or, whatever it is, or you put these numbers. then I think most people are pretty comfortable with that. And so just trying to think about how to going about that in a different type of way, or things as we talked about at the very beginning of sharing your prompt with other users so that everyone can kind of reap the rewards, but doing it in a way that incentivizes everybody, or create something similar to like a copy trader, but for copy prompting as well. But there's lots of potential out there. And we're definitely exploring it and trying to stay on the cutting edge of it while we build all of this kind of like
Yeah.
innovative tooling.
Well,
Cool.
you got the full Stock Unlock community behind you, the Stock Unlock team behind you, and I'm excited to test it out, try out the prompt strategies, and see if I can make a little white label for myself on this thing.
Yes,
Maybe
sir.
sick.
Yes, sir. I love to hear that. Yeah, we've actually had a handful of teams reach out to us also within the last few weeks of saying, how can I integrate Agent Hustle into my own products or my own protocols? Things like swap platforms, or things like analytical tools where they only want to use a certain area of Hustle, or they want to build their own tooling for Hustle that's more relative to their DeFi platform or their community. So we should have those APIs ready probably within the next few days to a week to any teams who want that. To also try to explore the B2B side of things, which I think can really take this thing next level, especially just getting it in the hands, right? Because we have 1,000 unique visitors last week who are using this, but simply one integration into a swap platform can 10x that in like one day. Right?
Can you guys
Right.
answer one more question before we end it? And just because we've been on the topic of tokens.
Yeah.
What is Tensor's role? Well, Tensorium, the token's role within all of this.
Yeah, it's a good question. So initially, how the token was launched was Agent Hustle was literally just kind of it was just a personal project for Shannon. It wasn't even productized, and he asked the AI what he wanted to call the token. So he wanted to call it Tensorium. Launched it on Pump Fun. It took off, and over the last 5 months since the token's been around, we've tried to figure out what is the role within the platform. It's kind of moving towards kind of a utility based kind of infrastructure where you can kind of do a few combinations of things. You can token gate certain types of features. You could go really deep down the DeFi kind of games where you can like stake the token and collateralize it for revenue in certain types of way, platform fees. The role initially will be very simplistic. It'll probably be some sort of token gate or some sort of like revenue share or platform share in some capacity, and then we want to grow it over time. And so we'll be announcing that. Yeah, we'll be announcing it probably next month. Some form of that will be initiated, and then it'll continue to grow from there. Because just one thing we've learned as a nimble team is we don't want to go deep down this gigantic tokenomic play where it's like you're staking here and LPing and doing these things when eventually you have to change and like those kind of things. Like for example, with Wayfinder, they're going about this very kind of grand vision, but they have probably 50 people on their team, so they can kind of back out of things very quickly where we can't. So next month we'll be announcing it, and it'll be more like a membership token to begin, and then it'll expand towards I guess you would say shared revenue or shared features, and then hopefully expand into kind of this more DeFi kind of idea. One thing we do want to pursue down the road is this idea of a hustle hedge fund where hustle our own hustle is trading, our own version of hustle is trading on the market autonomously, and then he basically just buys back the Tensorium token with the profits. Right, because a lot of companies do this buyback. Like Jupiter is very famous, and Binance is very popular for doing these kind of strategies. But they have literally they're either doing it from an abundance of revenue that they've generated, or they have their own kind of hedge fund that's trading on behalf of the company. Whereas we're like, hey, if we just have one AI who can do this automated trading, and then the value just keeps getting bigger and bigger, then we'd like him to just start buying back his token. So there's a few kind of ways to go about it, but it'll be very simple to start and expand.
Yeah. No, yeah, like I said, as it should be. You shouldn't, no need to overcomplicate things.
Right.
Not yet.
Facts.
But yeah, man. Well, anyways, guys, again, this is the Emblem team. If you want to check out Agent Hustle, go to agenthustle.ai.
Dang.
Agenthustle.ai. And if you want to check out the Emblem team in the Emblem Vault, go to @Emblem Vault on X and see what all they have to offer. Guys, again, agenthustle.ai. Super easy to set up, super clean interface, very simple. Go check it out. I encourage you guys to do that. Guys, thank you so much for coming on, taking the time to come on over here.
Of course.
I'm actually like blown away.
Appreciate that.
Well, blown away at the tech and blown away like how popular this stream has become.
And definitely, like, even if you don't really care about AI or something like that, like, take a look into it because it's going to touch everything. So you might as well at least like get a little bit comfortable with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, you guys are traders. You're a group of traders. I mean, we're at like maybe 1,100 users last week. I'm probably going to scale that up to 2,000 or 3,000 over the next couple weeks. And like, he does have a style, right? What he gets information from all these different pots, compiles it all together. And so the more people that he's recommending like kind of similar information to, there's probably some sort of like alpha within that, right? Getting tripling the users on the platform.
Yeah.
A lot of these people are going to end up kind of buying similar kind of tokens or having similar strategies. So even if it's just like short term that you want to check out the platform just to kind of get an edge what other people might be buying or what he might be recommending, that's probably worth it too. And then just kind of, using the tech and getting comfortable with what the next phase of crypto adoption looks like. That's Agent Hustle. So we're
guys, it's coming no matter if you like it or not. There's no more simple stuff in your well, it's going to be simple, but like it's time to evolve. Like we're going to get out of
and
the
then
way.
I just posted their Discord link in the chat for anyone that wants to jump in on their Discord. Just click the link and join, and then you guys can see what they're doing every single day in there.
Fire.
Yep. Yeah. So we got Emblem is the Discord, and then Agent Hustle AI is the Telegram. I think it's Agent Hustle. Yeah. So you can go into either one of those. So at Agent Hustle is the Telegram group, and then Emblem Vault is the Discord. So we keep those separated because Agent Hustle people like to be a little bit more degen than the actual Emblem Vault people. But yeah, also you could just DM me. You could DM Chris. You could DM Adam, or even the Agent Hustle account. We all are terminally online and we're happy to help people anyway. And it's funny, actually, I just saw somebody in the Telegram chat also had bought Cuck for a 50% for a 50% win. So I don't know if he was watching the stream or not, but it just shows that he's getting results, and you do see a few people buying the same one. So you can imagine in a very liquid environment that instead of that being 5 people, it ends up being 50 to 500 people.
And even if you just keep on like put a couple hundred more users on the platform that are looking at some of this similar information, you're going to get kind of more velocity, higher velocity moves on these specific tokens. So as traders, it might be kind of worth it to kind of look at something like that.
Well, you guys got about 200 users coming from us right now, so
let's go.
Appreciate it, man. This is sick.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the conversation as always, guys. Dude, it's awesome to see that you guys have grown. We've all come a long way over the last few years, and this is really only just the beginning.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Hey, support friends, not big corp.
Let's go, baby.
And don't fade us handsome founders, man.
I'm saying,
we are
bro,
crushing it.
Yeah,
don't fade the
handsome
guys.
founders out there, bro. Got a couple.
Let's go.
I like goth girls.
Yeah.
Oh man, I heard goth chicks are coming back in style.
They are. That's all.
I hear the Zoomers. Yeah, Zoomers love goth girls, from what I hear.
There you go. Fodi's early. He's early. Baby.
I've been on that train since I was a young jit. Anyways,
didn't see the goth girls in the club, honestly.
Yeah, no, I wish we had some. But yeah. Anyways, but yeah, guys, I appreciate you coming on. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and shoot a comment on the video and on our account.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, hit us up if you have any questions.
We'll do.
See you, everyone. Thanks.
Peace.
Peace.
Later. Take care.
See you guys. Hey.